Over 20,000 people are asking this one specific question: how to create the perfect dispute letter. And you know me, I don't want that question to go unanswered. So I'm gonna lay out the whole exact process of what you need to do. So grab a pen, sit back, relax, get something to drink, because we about to get straight into it. Welcome to the Dispute Letter Project, how to create the perfect letter. In order to create the perfect letter, you gotta understand where you're at in the process. Are you trying to move collections, hard inquiries, negative accounts, accounts that got reinserted, accounts that were verified? Do you have a bankruptcy you're trying to dispute? Do you have personal information that's incorrect? Do you have a fraud alert? Did the credit bureaus then respond to you in a certain amount of time? Are you trying to create a letter for that? Only you know where you're at in the process. So what you need to do next is get your report. Your report is very key because it's going to have the information that's needed, but also what's important is having this law right here. These law plus your report is going to allow you to create the letter that is needed. But what you need first is the intel that's within those specific accounts, because what you're going to see is incomplete information. I'm not saying you don't owe the money, but what I'm saying, everything has to be complete and accurate. You think I'm crazy? Listen to what my lawyer has to say, because we work together. Ask another question. So I always talk about like the consumer reports, the credit bureaus, which is Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, has like incomplete, like it's inconsistent, like the open date last active, all that stuff is not reported correctly. And I tell people to send a letter and tell them to update the information. I don't know or not, but most times they don't update it. Is that technically a violation? And can people technically serve the credit bureaus for not?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, back when I was talking to Robin about the ways you can dispute, it has to be inaccurate, incomplete, or too old generally. Well, if they're reporting inconsistently, it has to be one of them, at least one of them have to be inaccurate, right? So one of the things we love to do on the lawyer side, and we absolutely litigate this. I sue credit bureaus for this all the time, and we serve them with federal lawsuits, Dave, because they're reporting inconsistently. If Experian is reporting an open date of this month and TransUnion and Equifax are reporting it something different, we know for 100% certainty someone is reporting inaccurately, because it can't both be true, if it's different months. Same thing, if they're reporting a different balance. I don't care if a balance is off by $1 on a different report. Someone has broken the law because they have reported inaccurate information. So inconsistent equals inaccurate, always, because something has to be wrong. And then what we do is we send a letter and we say, okay, Capital One, LVNB, whoever it is, here's what's being reported inconsistently between the bureaus. Fix it. What that means is they have to either make them all match, and that has to still be accurate, or they have to delete it. But they almost always just verify. Absolutely, that's a great case. Love that case. Because it's so easy. I get to say, what are they going to do when I hold up two pieces of paper with different information? You don't get to tell one story to one person and another story to another. So that's a great question. Inconsistency equals inaccuracy.
Ooh, that's easy. And around.
Now, let me also give a small caveat. And this is something I want to make clear to everyone too. Not every piece of wrong information or inaccuracy will end up in litigation. There's still an analysis that has to go through, what's called materiality. That's a legal term. It's always in cases. It's in a bunch of case law. What that means is it has to be important enough. The open date, that's important because your open date will often determine how long something can be reported, right? But, if, how they have those payment grids on some of the reports, the 60 months, if it shows no data in one of those months, probably not going to sue on that, because there's 60 months there. And if it shows your on-time payments otherwise, that's wrong. You can dispute it. They should fix it. But if you come to me and say, hey, Aaron, they're showing a no data on this 1 month of 60 and the other 59 are right, I'm going to say, you know what, that's annoying, but that's not worthy of a lawsuit. But open date, they're reporting the date of last payment differently, the date of first delinquency differently, the past due balance, any of the big indicators, like the big important things, how long something's going to be deleted. If there's inconsistency among any of that information, it equals inaccuracy, equals lawsuit.
Now that you heard what he had to say, look at this specific law, because now you're going to be able to leverage this specific law to help you get things removed from your credit report. All right. When a consumer report agency prepares a consumer report, it shall follow reasonable procedure to ensure maximum possible accuracy of the information concerning the individual about whom the report relates. All right. So now that you understand that, you want to create your letter based off of the law. All right. So this is going to be very key. Your name, your address, the date. Of course, who are we talking to? Are we talking to Experian? Are we talking to TransUnion? Are we talking to Equifax? All right. To whom it concerned. Now, you just want to make this very short. You want to have a short intro based off of what you have going on. All right. So we're going to talk about the other type of ways to dispute, but I'm just saying you're sending out your first letter. This is based off of the first letter that you want to send out. I just recently looked at my report. I just want to make sure everything was 100% correct and accurate. Can you reinvestigate the accounts listed below? Keyword right here is reinvestigate. They sure already have done an investigation, but what we're asking them to do is doing a reinvestigation based off of the law. All right. So what you're telling them to do is do a reinvestigation and make sure everything is complete and accurate. All right. Now what you want to do is have the account name and account number. This is key. And what we're telling them to do. All right. Reinvestigate the completeness of every piece of information. And if it's not accurate, please remove it from our credit report. All right. Now, what they're supposed to do is check to make sure everything is complete and accurate. But what they're going to do is do that. But we have to give them the benefit of the doubt. All right. So that's what we're telling them to do. But most importantly, you want to add this on your letter as well. Make sure you get it notarized. The credit bureaus really don't want to do an investigation. They rather tell you to make sure, hey, I want to check to make sure you don't sound like a credit repair company. I want to make sure I need more information from you so I can make sure this is actually you. All right. So don't give them that opportunity, because most of the times people quit and give up because they're trying to do that process or they don't know what to do next. All right. So get it notarized. You can go to a few places. All right. So once you get it notarized, make sure you add 2 forms of identification, because we want to make sure they got it as well. So certify it and send this letter out and make them do an investigation, because they really don't want to. So I know what you're probably thinking. What about if I have collection, hard inquiries, accounts that got reinserted? If I have a bankruptcy, what if I'm trying to remove personal information? I got you. All right. Now, you just learned how to use a specific law to then create your letter based off of your report. Now, you're going to do the same exact process of what I just showed you. All right. All you're going to do is just compare reports, and you're just going to leverage the law based off of what you have going on. So based off of what you have going on, you want to leverage that specific law. So based off of, let's say we're trying to remove hard inquiries. Look at your report. All right. Now, you can't look at Identity IQ. What you need to do is call Experian, call TransUnion, call Equifax, and order a report. Now, what you're going to see is in your hard inquiry section that, hey, some hard inquiries don't have permissible purpose. They don't have permissible purpose to be on your credit report. So all you got to use is leverage 15 USC 1681B. All right. And then create an intro. Say, hey, I noticed, I looked at my report. I saw some some hard inquiries that don't have permissible purpose. Reinvestigate this, please. All right. Now you just list the hard inquiries and just tell them a specific action and tell them to delete the hard inquiries because they don't have permissible purpose based off of this law. And you're going to do the same thing if the accounts got reinserted. All right. Just leverage the specific laws based off of how you want to get things removed from your credit report. Collections, you can use 15 USC 1692. All right. But you got to be careful when you're trying to dispute. Now, make sure, I forgot to tell you, make sure you make a copy of everything that you want to do. Here's why. If you ever, because I already know the credit bureaus and these collection agencies like to play crazy. All right. So if you ever want to use a legal team, I got you. If you ever want to use a legal team to actually help you through this process and sue them because they like to play crazy, I got you. But you want to keep copies of everything that you've done. And if anybody communicate with you or anything like that, you have everything in your record. That's very important. All right. Now, back to what I was saying. Creating a letter is just based off of what happened and based off of what law. And all you have to do is just, hey, if this happened, let me go to this specific law and use this specific law to actually create my letter and then send it. Now, like I said, everything ain't guaranteed, but now you have the laws. The credit bureaus can't say that they never got it. And you have the information. And if you need to sue somebody, guess what? You will most likely win. I'm not a lawyer. Oh, hold on. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying you have the information and you told them to do a certain action, all right? So the main thing is based off of how the credit bureaus respond is based off of how you're gonna create your letter. But we just talked about depending on what they say is depending on what law you're gonna use, all right? So if you're just getting started, go grab my free secret letter, the one that you just saw. The link is in the comments. One more thing, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, put it in the comments.